Hi everyone. This was supposed to be my Christmas greeting of a story that I've been doing the last couple years. Because basically I'm out on Wednesdays before Christmas. But instead. As Milo wants to show you his new bell. And that I forgot to take attendance. Because this is Birdside Chat. I'm just doing it from the end, not in front. So Milo is right there with his bell. And Kiki is right there. And finches and parakeets are where they usually are. Okay, so instead of reading you a nice Christmas story, I have more bad news. Another video that I never wanted to make. So two things. Two things have happened. One, Milo has been struggling he's been lonely, I guess. So I think he thought that he could make a friend out of Kiki. And so there were several days where Milo was kind of singing to Kiki, and there was a couple nights where he wouldn't go to bed. He slept on the perch above Kiki's cage, and so on. I think he was trying to butter up to him and show him that he wanted to be friends. Kiki wanted nothing of that. Kiki's not interested. He doesn't like Milo, has never liked Milo, and probably never will like Milo. So one day Milo did not go in his cage for like an entire day and a night. And we were wondering if he was going to go to bed the following night. And I guess Kiki chased him away from his cage and into Milo's cage. Like, get out of here, go to bed, get out of my face, type of thing. Well, I guess 1 or 2 days later, I get home. And Mom's telling me that she heard some yelling and screaming and stuff because Milo had come out of his cage again and was picking around on Kiki's cage, and then she said she was cleaning back behind the cages and she saw some blood, and not a lot, but enough to notice. And so she started looking, and she goes, I think Kiki chewed off 2 of Milo's toes. And of course, it's like, no, that can't be it. So I look at Milo, and of course, he's standing on one foot, the other foot's tucked into his, and up into his feathers. And so the one that's he's standing on had 4 whole toes. But then I realized he wasn't sleeping. So more than likely the foot with the missing toes was the one that he had tucked up into his feathers, and the reason why he was doing that is because they probably hurt. So I had to wait. So then I think it was the next day or day after, I don't remember, I finally got to see them. And I'm trying to get a picture of him, but he freaks out every time I get the camera near him. But yes, he did. He basically, he bit off right where the nail grows out. So he's got so it's basically just the nail part. And he basically, so he's got two little blood scabs where there should be nails. And he's been walking around on his both feet. Sometimes he tucks his foot up into it, but he doesn't come out of his cage now. So I don't know what to do with the situation. I need. He obviously needs a friend, but we all know what that means. I'm not ready for anything like that. And his cage is too small for a second birth. So I need to do a lot more thinking about it. Yeah. So I'm trying to talk to him. And try to show him that people can be friends too. But he's never been interested in that. So if I come up with anything on that, I'll let you know. So the other thing happened a week ago. Okay. Last Wednesday. So I'm filming this it's a Wednesday. So the previous Wednesday. About 2:15, 2:30 in the morning, I was sleeping, and Daisy woke up and was coughing, and a lot more than usual. And then so I was listening to her do that, and then she jumped off the bed, which means that usually it means she has to get to the potty area, like now. So I jump out of bed and I get in front of her and open the door, and she goes out, and I follow her, and she goes over to the potty corner. She gets done, and I'm standing there waiting, and I still have another hour left to sleep, I guess, because I've been going into work early lately. And she looked at me, and then she turned and started walking towards her dog bed in the living room. And I'm like, well, if that's where you want to sleep, then you have that right. You know, I believe that the animals know what they want, and unless I have a really good reason, they should be allowed to do what they want to do. So I was like, and I know she really likes her bed. So I was like, if you want to do that, that's fine. We only have an hour to sleep anyway, and so I'll be back in an hour. So then I went to bed, left my door open in case she decided to come in, and then I got in the bed and fell asleep. An hour later, the alarm went off. I shut it off. I got up to do started doing my normal stuff. I come out here, and I see, and there's Daisy. She's sitting in front of Mom's chair, which is not usual. And she was breathing hard, and there was two areas, her nose and by her chest or shoulder, I guess, that were moving, like this. So it was obviously she did not feel good. and she was having a little trouble breathing. So I was like, well, you know, so I kind of I petted her, and then I went to get her medicine, wrap it up in ham like I do every morning. And I went back to give it to her, and she didn't want it. Now that is unusual for her to refuse ham. So I tried a few times, and there was no go. So I put the ham on the table. That I try again later, and then I started doing my normal stuff. And pretty soon, Mom comes out with Mindy. So Mindy can go potty, and then the dogs can get their vegetable goodies that they get every morning. The sweet potato and the carrots and cucumber. So I'm sitting there cutting all this up, you know, because I'm making the turtles salad. And I give them their thing. Daisy wanted no part of it. And so Mindy ate all of hers and all of Daisy's, and then she runs on the hallway to go back to bed. And so I point at Daisy, and I tell Mom, I said, if you can get her into the vet like today, that would be great. And I said, can you see what's going on? She goes, yes. I'm like, okay. So she picks Daisy up and goes back to the bedroom. With Mindy. A couple minutes later, by now yeah. So then I do my, finish doing my thing, hand out the lettuce and everything, go get changed, come back out here, put my shoes and socks on, and then finish getting my breakfast ready. So I'm sitting at the table, eating my breakfast, and a door opens up. And my father comes out, doesn't say anything, and he walks through. He goes through the living room. He comes back with Daisy's bed, and then walks back to the bedroom. I thought, well, that's odd, but, you know, whatever. I hear the door shut. I'd say a minute after that, the door opens up again. Here comes Mom with Daisy. And she says, Daisy won't stay on the bed. Maybe she has to go potty. So Mom put her on in the potty corner. And then she says she can barely stand. And of course, now it's like, okay, you know, this is serious. So then she picked her up and she handed Daisy to me, and I held her. So I'm holding her like this, and kind of resting her on the so my arms, her and my arms are resting on the table, and then all of a sudden her whole body just. No, wait. What happened was, and all of a sudden, everything kind of stopped. Like there was no movement, and Mom and I both thought that she was gone. And so Mom's feeling her, trying to feel for like breathing or anything. And all of a sudden, I felt a toe. The toes on one of her foot started moving a little bit. And then the corner of her mouth started moving, and pretty soon, then all of a sudden she started moving around a little bit. I think she lost consciousness at that point, is what I think what happened. And then right soon after that, all of a sudden her whole body went limp, like a rag. And just, there was no there was no, couldn't, like, if you took a wet rag and held it and just the way both ends drooped down, that's what she was doing. And I think it was that moment that I think her spirit left her at that point. And right after that, all of a sudden all this fluid started coming out of her mouth, and I don't know, I don't know if that was the water in her stomach or what. So Mom went and got some paper towels, put it under her head, and she soaked them, so she went and got more. There was a little bit of a pink tinge to it, but otherwise it was clear. Mom's like, what do we do? I said, there's nothing we can do. I said, the nearest emergency vet is like 45 minutes away. And I said, she may not make it. She probably won't make it before you even, figure out, once we figure out how to get there. She goes, I don't want you going to work. I said, there's nothing I can do. I said, she goes, well, we need you here to make decisions. I'm like, if she's still here when the vet clinic opens, you call them, you get her in. Worst case, I want the ashes back. So Mom keeps going back and forth, telling my father what's going on. She comes back out, see if anything has improved, and nothing has. Finally, I was holding Daisy, and I kissed the side of her head, and I told her I loved her, and then I told her, if you need to go sleep, it's time to go sleep. You can go sleep. I have always thought that, because every night we would go to bed, and she would sit on my pillow, and we would have our little bedtime talk, and she'd lick my face a little bit, and we'd talk about stuff. If we were mad at each other, then we'd make up, talking until we weren't mad anymore. And I always ended it, because I knew she would sit there and look at my face all night long, and I couldn't sleep that way. So I always patted her butt, and just to I always told her it's time to go sleep. And I always knew that the last thing I wanted to tell her would be, it's time to go sleep. So I told her, if you want to go sleep, it's time to go sleep. And then I handed it over to Mom. Mom figured out how to hold her without, because like I said, there was no support. There's no muscle tone. I don't know what to say. And because she was just doing, so there was some movement, like agonal breathing. As I told Mom, I said, I think this is where her mouth was just like this. And I said, I think these are agonal breathing. What's that? I said, well, that's the last thing they do before they go. So she's just basically doing that, but that was the only movement. I looked at her gums, the color of her gums. That's supposed to, mucous membranes. They were basically gray. And then I tried doing a vision test, like see if she'd react by doing this. And so I don't think she was there anymore. And then I handed her off to Mom. I just held her as long as I could. I handed her off to Mom, and Mom said she was gone before, within a few minutes. So it's been an incredibly hard week. It still is. I keep her collar in my pocket so I can still smell her. And Friday I went to the vet clinic to pick up her blanket because my father brought her body and wrapped in her blanket, and I went there to drop off the food that she had not eaten to get a refund, and then to get the blanket. And so I asked for it, and she handed it to me, and I completely lost it. So yeah. Too much. So Mindy, she doesn't play. She hasn't played with her toys. She kind of mopes around. So she's trying to figure out life. I'm trying to figure out life. The birds are trying to figure out life. So yeah. I wish I had better news. I wish I had something fun and enjoyable to say. I don't. So, one more Christmas song on Sunday. It's my my religious song, my religious one that I allow myself. And I haven't decided yet. Daisy's tribute video will either be I was planning on the last Sunday of the year. I was planning on doing some kind of a, New Year's song, the past and the future and the whole thing. But I need to do Daisy's tribute video too. So I need to decide that. I also, just housekeeping, still have 4 Yum boxes sitting over here. We'll get to them. So I think my parents are home. I gotta go. I'm sorry. I wish I had better news. See you in the comments. Bye.